Konnichiwa everybody, welcome back to another pickups episode with a difference this time, because it's a bit of a special, because all these are from one particular source, and you've read the title, clues in the title. I'm sure lots of people know Eddie's selling a few of his treasured possessions in a noble cause. So I wish you all the best of luck with that, mate. But yeah, when he sort of made it known that he was selling some of these amazing collection he's amassed, it certainly piqued my interest, and I've had to sort of make a couple of orders. So I bought these in 2 batches. The first, I don't know, maybe a month or 2 ago. No, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago. And then I bought my second batch last week. So I thought I'd keep it all and sort of do one sort of special video together, which is where we are now. I think I'll start just by saying thanks to Eddie, if you watch it. I mean, you know what's in this video, so there's not much point really. But I just want to say a big thanks to Eddie anyway. I'm not going to go into prices, but it was more than fair and over the moon with what I've purchased. And in addition to what I bought, he also threw me in a couple of extra surprises and this amazing t-shirt, which I think there's a few people had these, but I'm sure you've seen them from on other people's channels. But there we go, cool little Rampage style RollerXcore t-shirt, and this one I believe is a very limited edition pink variant, so no doubt priceless in the future. So thanks Eddie, really appreciate that, top quality. I think on that subject I might do the sort of the free extras at the same time. So in addition to this amazing t-shirt, he also threw in Lords of Thunder on the Mighty PC Engine, which is what I've got running here actually. Now if you're up on your PC Engine, this is a horizontal shooter. It is unfortunately very expensive. So this is actually a repro, which I'm absolutely fine with. I'm sure you all know that. It was one I'd sort of heard before was good, but the price, made it a no-go for me really. I think it's 100 quid plus from memory. So it was an amazing surprise to get this. It's a really nice repro, to be fair. Really nice quality. And it is a cracking game, this, I've got to say. Horizontal shooter, like I say, and you get a choice of styles of ship, each with different sort of fire abilities, and I think this is the one, yeah, those are your different stages if you like. And it's got like this weapon power-up system, where you can, at the end of each level and at the start of the game, you can buy sort of better shields or firepower, bombs, all that kind of stuff. And you collect like these gems within the level to sort of boost your health and power gauges. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I can't see me ever buying the original, but that would be awesome. But what a cracking start. Absolutely brilliant game. I really want to make some additions to my PC Engine collection really. I'm not that happy with my collection as it stands. I used to have really quite a decent collection, back in the day, and unfortunately when I've rebought the system, the way prices have gone, it's been difficult to get the ones I used to have. But we'll see where it goes in the future. But anyway, what an epic start. Lords of Thunder on the PC Engine. CD, I should have said actually. You need a CD add-on or a duo to play that. So that's the first added extra. Now the second one, that was in my first batch what I bought, I should have said. Now the second one, if I can find it. Oh yeah. Now this is a really weird coincidence, because literally, no word of a lie, the day before this Past Life Eddie came, I was looking at this game on eBay the night before, because it was one I'd not seen before, and I'd looked on YouTube, eBay. I'd found it to buy, which then prompted me to look on YouTube for some gameplay footage, and I'd watched a bit of that, and I was hovering over the buy it now button, and for whatever reason I didn't. Then the very next morning, in the second batch of stuff I bought, this was in the box as an added freebie off the great man, and it's called GT All Japan Grand Touring Car Championship. Bit of a mouthful, but it's kind of how would you describe this really? It's an isometric overhead racing game. It's a little bit similar to RC to Go, if you've seen that on the PS1. I did feature that in a video a few months ago. It's kind of like that, but it's, instead of being a remote control car, it's supposed to be like an actual racing car on like circuits and a championship and that kind of thing. And it is good. However, I think the viewpoint, occasionally during the race, it will zoom in really close, which makes it practically impossible to see where the turns are coming. So really, it's one of these kind of games where you've got to remember the circuit. So as of yet, I've only really played the one track to try and sort of get it in the memory and get a bit better at that one track. Because of the nature of the short distance between the car and the upcoming road, makes it very difficult. But it looks lovely, I've got to say. You'll see in the footage, obviously. But yeah, so another cracking freebie, and like I say, I just couldn't believe the sort of timing of it when I'd literally been looking at it the night before on eBay and YouTube. So it's absolutely amazing. Eddie, you must be psychic, mate. This thing's stuck. That's the power up screen you can buy stuff from. We'll just let that run now. Right. So we'll get on to the actual stuff I've paid for now. Now I've got to say, I know it's me talking and I've bought them, so I obviously like them. But these are real top quality games, I've got to say. It's all top drawer stuff. It's just, when he said he was selling some of this treasured sort of import collection, it was too good to refuse. I somehow, I've been selling stuff like mad to pay for it. So, in addition to what we've already gone through, the freebies, I've actually bought Saturn, Dreamcast and PS1. Now, as I say, I personally think they're all bangers, but I don't know which one to go for first, really. I think we'll go Saturn first. Now, obviously, I'm on a bit of a Saturn sort of rebuilding journey this year, trying to get games back I've had in the past and buy other ones I never did have. So, unfortunately, obviously, a lot of Saturn stuff is mega expensive, hence why I bought some repros for it. However, these I don't know where to start really. We'll go with this one. We've got a shooter to start with, and we've got Darius 2. Now this is Sagaya, isn't it, on the Master System? I believe. And lovely condition. Now you can obviously get this on the PAL version. This is it's a horizontal shooter, obviously. I always kind of refer to this as the fish tank simulator, but I don't know if you can tell on the back of the box, but you'll see in the footage anyway. It's a very widescreen aspect ratio. I'm assuming the arcade machine is like probably either a really wide screen or it's 2 or 3 screens wide, I'm guessing. Because as you'll see in the footage, it is very widescreen, so it gives you a lovely wide angle view and play area. Again, absolutely cracking game. I'd have to say, with all these, I haven't played any of them in depth necessarily, because I've been playing one and, you know, oh, this is amazing, but I want to try that next one, and, you know, I'll try the next one, and you think, oh yeah man, this is wicked, and that, oh, I need to try that next one, and I'm, you know, going round and round in circles, playing all of these for like short periods, thinking, oh god, this is so good, I need to play that one again, you know what I mean? But anyway, Darius 2 on the Saturn, the mighty Saturn. In a very similar vein, I've also picked up Darius Gaiden, or Gaiden, whichever way you want to say it. Now this is a much more sort of normal aspect ratio, as you'd expect to see on your console. You know, it fills the screen. Now I've got this on something else. I think it's the Switch. I've got this on something. I bought it like last year or this early part of this year. But another amazing game, I've got to say, absolutely brilliant. And again, it's in lovely condition. I forget which. This is out PAL as well, but I forget which way around it is now. We was talking, me and Eddie, about this. One of these is really expensive PAL and one's quite affordable. I can't remember which way around it is. I've got a feeling it's Gaiden what to do. But regardless, anyway, they're both absolutely brilliant games. Big fan of both. I just wish my shooting skills were better than they are, really. Right, next up we've got now this, my memory of I had this back in the day, and my memory of it was you know, it was a great game, and it's one I've not seen at a reasonable price on eBay during the year when I've been trying to pick up Saturn games. So when Eddie had it available, I thought that's a must. So we've picked up Marvel Superheroes. Obviously you can get this PAL. I'm not sure how much it is. Probably not that cheap. This one's even got some nice spine cardage, the original Obi. So I've played this one with all these sort of great memories in my mind, and don't get me wrong, it's still brilliant, still an amazing game to play and look at. But when you compare it with the other X-Men and Street Fighter games, I'm not sure this one performs quite as well. So in that aspect, I don't think it's as good, but it's absolutely brilliant to have it back. I'm chuffed a bit. I mean, you've got an amazing cast of characters, obviously. I always pick Spider-Man. But as you'll see in the footage, I mean, it looks fantastic. And again, like I say, it's in lovely condition, and it's a great game. I just don't seem to play as smoothly as the other Capcom fighters on the Saturn. I think it was I think Rob mentioned in one of the streams we did recently about this not being as good as it could be. It's a shame it didn't use the ram cart. When you know, that's a fair point. I'd agree. But nevertheless, what an awesome game! Another stellar pickup. And then, now this is the last Saturn, so I've bought 4 Saturn in total. And this is one of the this one and that last one and this one I bought in the first lot of stuff. And again, this is very much like that other one in the fact that I had it back in the day and had great memories of it. And I bought Marvel versus Street Fighter. Now I'd already got X-Men versus Street Fighter, which is incredible. And again, we've got the spine card, which is amazing, in nice condition. This is, again, it's a phenomenal game. It's hard to pick a winner between this or X-Men versus Street Fighter. I mean, I'd say they're both probably equally as good. It's just different rosters of characters, really. It's just epic. This does use the RAM card. Obviously this is just a single sort of game version, but I've already got the RAM card, so you know that's all I needed. But you know, it's what the Saturn's famous for, isn't it? 2D fighters and shooters. I mean, you can't go wrong with this. It's absolutely phenomenal. What an amazing game. Marvel versus Street Fighter. And that's all I picked up on the Saturn. So I think, you know, surely would have to agree, 4 absolutely epic Saturn games, just brilliant. Absolutely chuffed a bit with him. Right, we'll do Dreamcast next. Now the Dreamcast is a bit like my Saturn collection, really, in the fact that I had lots of it back in the day, and you know, over the years it got sold off. I kept some, but some got sold for the money or whatever. So much like the Saturn, I am trying to buy the odd one back here and there when I can. So again, you know, my eyes lit up when Eddie said he was selling some Dreamcast. So we've got, how many we got here for the Dream? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 games altogether. First one we've got is the King of Fighters 2001. I'm sure you all know what King of Fighters is. Amazing SNK Neo Geo title. I've never had this 2001 version before. I've got 99 on the Dreamcast, I think it is. But this got the spine card again in this one, but the artwork in this one is absolutely brilliant. Look, the internal artwork. Oh, how nice is that? And again, it's in lovely condition. You'll see in the footage, I mean, it's King of Fighters. I mean, there's not much to say, really. They're all fairly similar, just look different, slightly different graphically. But it's another absolutely bangingly good game. It's awesome. There's no two ways, you know. I love King of Fighters. I love the Neo Geo. You know, I love SNK, but this is just, it looks beautiful on the Saturn as well, and oh, so nice. Terry Bogard's the man. Right, next up, this one. I actually did remember playing this back in the day, and I completely forgot about it. And then when Eddie was, you know, sent me a few pictures of what he was selling, and he knew I was into light gun games, so he sent me this, these games in the picture, and it just jogged my memory straight back. I think, bloody hell, I remember that game. I'd forgotten about it for 20 years. So I picked up Death Crimson 2, which is a light gun game, light gun shooter. I suppose we'll say it's a bit like House of the Dead. it is like House of the Dead, really, but it's not like it's not as horror gory as House of the Dead, but it's in that kind of style. We haven't got the spine card for this one. Now, the footage I'll put up with this, I've got to say, because I recorded it on this TV, it's played with a controller, because obviously the light gun won't work on that. It's very difficult to play with a controller, I've got to say. It's far superior with a light gun, which is how I'd normally choose to play. It's held up quite well, I think. Really quite enjoyed what I've played so far. It never got a PAL release on the Dreamcast. I did find out after buying this that it got released on the PlayStation 2, but it's under a different name called Guncom 2 on PAL PS2. So I did buy that after I bought this, just as a comparison, and it does seem fairly similar, to be honest. But the like I say, the PAL PS2 version, it's such a naff name, and the box looks naff. I don't know, why did they change the style from this? I mean, Death Crimson, what a much nicer title and, theme and everything. I don't know what they were thinking there. But, yeah, it's really good, I've got to say. But it was surpassed by this one, which I never had or played back in the day. And that's Death Crimson OX, which is the sequel. Now, I would definitely say there's quite a big improvement here. This looks and plays quite a lot better, and this is top class. Absolutely brilliant light gun shooter. Obviously, it's a sequel. Again, it's in really nice condition. No spine card. As far as I'm aware, this is a Japanese exclusive. I don't know if it came out on PS2. I've not seen it if it did. But let me know, is it available on anything else? The sequel, I don't know. Death Crimson OX. Again, it's very much like a House of the Dead style game. But it looks a lot crisper than the first one. It's a bit more... It's a bit faster paced. It's a bit more responsive. It looks better. It's really quite nice. This. It's a beltingly good game. Shame it never got out PAL, really. So that would definitely have aided the library, in my opinion. It's another belting game. Honestly, every game, honestly, it's just so good. What a collection Eddie has amassed. Must be gutted to be selling it, huh? Bloody hell. It's for a good cause, I know. It's for a good cause. Right, 2 Dreamcast to go, and the next one is, now this is another one I've never had before. I'm sure I remember seeing it back in the day, but I never played it, and it's Spawn. Now this is a Capcom game, and I really didn't know what to expect of this one, to be honest. But I'm sure it's based on an arcade machine. I'm pretty sure. And it is very arcade. There's various modes you can play this, but the arcade mode is my default, so that's the one I've played so far. And it's kind of, again, it's in lovely condition. I love the colour of the disc on this one. This is out PAL. I'm not sure if it's expensive. I'm guessing it might be being Capcom. But yeah, it's kind of, it's like an arena-based fighting game. Do you call it a fighting game? It's kind of arena-based fighting stroke shooting game where you're running around. Well, in the mode I've played anyway. If you can play it in like tag team and help rather than being on your own as well. I did try that once, but in the basic arcade mode I was playing, it's single player. It's basically you against an opponent, and you can move around as you would expect, jump, and you've got a couple of like punch, fire. You've usually got a gun of some kind, and you've got basically got to kill the other opponent. And then, much like a Street Fighter game, once you've killed that one, you'll move on to the next arena, the next opponent, and that kind of thing. I did struggle with the controls on this to begin with. I thought they were a bit awkward because I don't think the Dreamcast pad helps because it's controlled by the D-pad, and unfortunately the D-pad on the Dreamcast is the work of Satan. I mean, I don't know how Sega went from having the best D-pad ever made on anything on the Saturn to one of the worst D-pads ever made on the Dreamcast. I mean, what were they thinking? But anyway, I kind of got used to it a bit after that. And it is a really good game. I think where this one differs over, say, a normal sort of arena-based one-on-one combat game, we'll say, is you've got multiple rooms on this one, and so you know you can kind of leave the one area and you'll go through a door and you're in another one, and that, you know, it creates a much bigger level and perspective to the game, I suppose, really, because you know you can run around different rooms and hide from people and that kind of thing. But the graphics are lovely. Cracking. I keep saying the same thing. It's another cracking game. I'd love to. I mean, I've never seen. I'm sure there's an arcade of this. It'd be amazing to try, you know, play the arcade, see how that differs in control. But anyway, it's another belting game. That's Spawn on the Dreamcast. Then the last Dreamcast game we've got. Now, I must admit, I dropped a bit of a bollock here because when I asked Eddie for this game and I saw the picture of it, and I thought, I've been after that for ages, I want that. And it's Tech Romancer. Again, this is out PAL. I think it's not the cheapest on PAL. I can't remember it. I'm sure it's £50 plus at least. But anyway, like I say, when I saw it in the picture, I thought, yes, I want that one, please. Again, it's in lovely condition again. So I was excited to bang it in the machine when it turned up, and it comes on. I'm thinking, this don't look like the game I thought it was. So I started playing it. This ain't the game I thought it was. I bought the wrong game here. And then I started. I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong, I was enjoying it, but I was just. It was going around in my mind. This ain't the game I thought it was. But I couldn't think of what it should have been. And it went out my head then, and I was just enjoying playing this. But then I think it was. I was watching a video earlier on today, and somebody showed the game I thought this was. Who was it? It was Bill, I think, in his Dreamcast pickups. Yeah, it was. Anyway, when I bought this, I was thinking it was Heavy Metal Geomatrix, and that's the game I thought I was buying, which. And now I still need, because that looks awesome as well. However, you know, all that said, this is bloody amazing. I'm chuffed to bits with this. This is like, again, it's another kind of arena fighting game, but this is more a traditional one-screen arena. And you're sort of a character controlling one of these big robot mech type, I don't know, characters, what they're called. Anyway, you're a character controlling a massive robot mech, and much like a Capcom 2D fighter, you've got to kill the other character in the arena. but it's 3D, like I say. You can sort of run backwards and forwards into the screen, and there'll sometimes be things within the arena that you can interact with. But the characters are massive, as you'll see in the footage. And you know, you've got weapons of varying kinds, and obviously all the characters have got different kind of weapons and abilities. And it's like, if you've played Cyberbots, which is a 2D fighter, I like, the way I describe this is, it's like 3D Cyberbots. I mean, it's another Capcom game, so whether that inspired this, I don't know, but that's how it appears to me. And it looks amazing, this doesn't it? And the music and the sound on it is, I absolutely love the music on it. It's brilliant. It's very much, again, I like Virtual On, and it's kind of like Virtual On and Gundam and all them kind of games. Yet it's more arcadey and fighting game in its style than those are, really. This is epic. Absolutely love it. It's absolutely brilliant. So, although it turned out not to be the game I thought I was going to be buying, I mean, maybe this is better, I don't know, but it couldn't have worked out any better, because this is one of the best I've bought. It's phenomenal. What a wicked game. Love it. Tech Romancer. If you've got a Dreamcast and you like that kind of thing, that's a must-buy in my opinion. But I could argue most of these are must-buys, because they're all absolutely brilliant. Right, where should we go now? PS1 we've got left. How many? I've got 30 minutes already. Maybe I should split this into two. Should I pause here and do a second episode with the PS1? I'll press on. I might cut this in half. I don't know. No bugger, I'll probably watch it anyway. Right, PS1. Now this one, I've never heard of this, and it was just one I saw in one of the pictures Eddie had sent, and I didn't even know what it was, so I asked him. He told me. I had a look at a bit of footage. I thought, it's only cheap, I'm going to give it a try. And that's Dead in the Water, which is kind of a powerboat racing game. Like I say, I've never heard of it before. This is the American version, as you've probably guessed. I personally like the American PS1 boxes. They're really nice. Again, it's in nice condition. A bit of internal artwork on that one. I think of all the games I've bought, this, I'm not saying it's rubbish or anything, but I don't think this one's aged very well. It does look its age, and I think at the time maybe it would have probably been pretty good. I think I remember playing Rapid Racer on the PS1, which is a game I'd like to pick up again, but I have seen people say, and you play it now, it's a bit crap now, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. It's very combat based, so it's kind of like, I suppose you'd say, it's kind of a wave race mixed with a Mario Kart, I suppose, really, but it's not really, it's not as polished as either of them, but that's the kind of vibe from this. But you'll see in the footage, it's alright, but it's by far the worst one of the bunch I've bought. That's Dead in the Water. Right, next one. This is a shooter, since, you know, obviously Eddie's one of the kings of shooters, he's got loads. So I thought this had got to be worth a go, and it's Ironhander by Squaresoft, unusually, being a shooter you'd imagine. Now, again, I've never had this before, and again it's in nice condition. This is Japanese, and as far as I'm aware, this didn't come out PAL. I'm no expert on PAL PS1, but I'm assuming this didn't come out. You can get it American. It's quite a bland box, I suppose, for a Japanese one, but regardless anyway, this is really good. Again, I've heard people say this ain't that good, but personally I think it's really, really good. Plays really nicely, looks nice. The only thing I do prefer shooters sort of pixel style, and this is polygons, which obviously perhaps hasn't aged as well as a pixel style game would. But that said, it still looks nice, I think, and it's nice to play. And there are kind of sections within the game where it's a horizontal shooter, and there'll be sections where you'll finish a horizontal section, and there's kind of there'll be a section in between that and the next level where it'll switch to a more isometric view, and you can sort of see the screen coming towards you more. And I don't know if there's any in the footage actually, but there's a particularly good bit with some neon signs like on the side of a building, and you can shoot them down as you're going on this sort of isometric section. Oh, it looks class. So yeah, I mean, I don't think this is the most expensive game in the world. So if you like your shooters, definitely worth checking out. Again, it's another belting pickup. I'm chuffed with that one as well, Ironhander, but absolutely brilliant. Right, now what should we go with next? Yeah, we'll go with this one. This is one I first learnt about, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and it originated on the Super Famicom back in the day, and it's got a bit of a cult following. Unfortunately, the Super Famicom one is quite expensive, and I believe they still play tournaments on it to this day. However, there's a modern version on the Switch which I bought when I first found out about it, because that was obviously readily available at the time. It was new out, and you know, you could buy it for 30 quid, whatever. But like I say, it's originated on the Super Famicom, and they brought it to the PS1, and I think there's a handheld version on something. Is it the DS, or there's a handheld version on something anyway. You might not have heard of this one. It's called Umihara Kawase. Now this is a platform game. It was all obviously 2D on the Super Nintendo, and it still is on this, but they've spruced the graphics up a bit, and I think a lot of people complain it's not as nice to look at as the Super Nintendo version, which is possibly a fair point. But it's got a really weird mechanic. Now it's in amazing condition, this is. It's got the spine card, it's got a little sealed standee, it's got the manual obviously on the disc. But yeah, as I say, it's got a really weird mechanic, which is you control this little sort of schoolgirl, almost, I would imagine, a young girl anyway, and you've got to negotiate the level. It's almost like a puzzle platformer. You've got to negotiate the level, and your only sort of weapon and aid to get around the level is a fishing rod, and you can sort of fire the fishing rod at enemies to sort of stun them and kill them. But then you also use your fishing rod to get around the level, because you can sort of fire the line, and then that creates like a bungee cord, which you can then use to bounce yourself around to try and get to an out of reach platform. And you can also attach it to things to, you know, move on conveyors and that kind of thing. It does take an awful lot of getting used to, I've got to say, and I am far from good at it. But it's a really cool, quirky little game, which is, you know, bang up my. I love quirky, and this is absolutely quirky as hell. Brilliant little game. I mean, I'd love the Super Famicom version, maybe one day. Cart only would do, but I mean a box one would be better. But yeah, I mean the levels are quite short to begin with. I don't know if they get longer as you get further into the game, I don't know. And you've just got to basically go from the start and work your way around the level, which, you know, they're all different sort of shapes. It's not like linear. You're going up side to side, and you've basically got to find the door to get out the level, and that's it. But amazing game, and this is Japanese only. The hand, I'm going to check out what the handheld version is, because that's another one I'd like. But another belting game, Umihara Kawase. We've got 3 to go, you're probably pleased to hear. And you might think, how can this get any better? There's so much good stuff already. And there has, honestly, it's blown me away how good this stuff is. I don't know which order to do these in. I think we'll do this one next. Now, I got this one on the Saturn previously. And it's big. There's actually the Mega CD versions on the recent Mega Drive Mini 2, which I've not played. I don't know. But obviously, can't be as good. Anyway, Night Striker. Now, this is a Taito arcade. Is it? I'm sure it's Taito. Yeah, licensed by Taito. Yeah, this is a Taito arcade, and it's kind of, it's Space Harrier in a car. I think that's the best way to describe it. The level sort of setup is exactly the same premise as Space Harrier. You can fly around the screen in the car, or you can drive on the, obviously you can't drive in the Space Harrier, but you know what I mean. You're in a car instead of flying like Space Harrier, and you can fly the car around the screen just like Space Harrier, or you can go on the floor and drive. But your basic mission is to shoot down the enemies within the level, and then get to the boss at the end, just like Space Harrier, and then you take that down in the same way. And you can also alternate the controls, you know, where, like Space Harrier, you can, you know, up can be up and down can be down if you like, or you can switch it and have like down as up and up as down, which is the way I prefer to play it. The variation between this and Space Harrier is at the end of each level, it then turns into an outrun mechanic where you can choose which way, whether you go left or right. So, you know, you start off on one screen, then you get a choice of 2, and then those 2 get a choice of 2 each. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, just like Outrun and Darius for that matter. That's the same premise. I don't know if I showed you the inside of that one. Lovely condition again. Really like this. You possibly could argue it's slightly easier. You've got, like, it's not like Space Harrier, it's one hit death. You've got like an energy bar of I think there's 4 or 5 you start off with, and each time you take a hit you lose 1 bar, and then when you get to the end of the level you regenerate 2. So if you can keep your energy, you know, you're regenerating more at the end of each level. But if you've lost it throughout the level, you get 2 back, as it were. So I'm really pleased to have it. I do think it looks nicer on the PlayStation than the Saturn. But either way, another absolutely belting game, and chuffed to have that. Right, 2 to go. How can things get any better, you might ask? I don't know which way to go first here. Maybe we go on value. Now this one I've never had back in the day. I've heard about it in recent years, and people say, you know, this is a great game and all that. But unfortunately it is a pricey one, and it's Japanese exclusive. So absolutely chuffed. Picked up Panzer Bandit. This is by Band Presto. I'd got in my head, I'd never really watched any video footage of it, I just heard people talk about it. And I'd got in my head Guardian Heroes on the Saturn. And I purposely didn't watch any footage until the game turned up. I just wanted to go into it sort of neutral and, you know, have my eyes opened when I first played it. I've got to say, this is one hell of a good game. Absolutely brilliant. It's just phenomenal. What a wicked game. It is like Guardian Heroes. It's a scrolling beat 'em up, and you can, where Guardian Heroes is on it's on 3 planes, isn't it, I think. This is on 2 planes. You can go sort of forwards and backwards. And you've got 4 characters to choose from, each with their own kind of fighting style. I personally prefer this blue sort of, I don't know what he is really, kind of a robot, masked type dude, I don't know what he is. But it looks lovely, and the music on this is really like, really hypnotic. I think it's absolutely amazing. And you get a choice of 4, you can choose from the first 4 stages, you can play them in any order you want. And then after that, it's automatic, you've got to go in the sequence the game tells you. I don't know how many levels there are. I think I've played up to level 7 so far. But what a belting game. I can understand why, you know, it goes for the price it does. What a great game this is. Awesome. I'm lost for words really. There's so much cool stuff here, but I think this is a cut above. This is absolutely top draw, this one. So where can that leave us, you might ask? What can the last game be? One man knows, obviously, or 2 men if you include me. This is a game I've wanted for quite a while. Unfortunately, it's quite expensive. Never came out in PAL regions, only Japanese and America. Now, if you've been paying attention, you know I like my light gun games, and I've got most of the ones for the PS1. Unfortunately, this one I hadn't got, and so I've managed to get Elemental Gearbolt, which a lot of people, you know, have got high regard for. But just look at the box. I don't know if you can tell on the camera there, but it's like a metallic finish on the cover, and you can see the colour changing as you turn the light on it. I know Eddie likes the box himself particularly. It's so nice, and it's kind of shiny gold print on the back. She's a beauty. And it's got some nice internal artwork as well in the case. Unfortunately, there's no manual in this one, but it was a price worth paying, to be honest. And it's got some nice artwork on the back as well. I have been tempted to get the Japanese one in the past, but it's a light gun with light RPG elements, so really you need the American one, which is why it's obviously a lot more money. Now the footage I put up again, it's played with a controller because I've took it off this TV here and I couldn't use the light gun, and it's very difficult with the controller, I've got to say. It's far better with the gun. This is phenomenal. I just love this game. Brilliant. I can understand why it goes for the money it does. I mean, again, it's a shame it never came out PAL, but it's like, I don't know, I mean, it's a traditional light gun shooter really, on rails light gun shooter. It's just brilliant. It looks brilliant. I'll just keep showing you the box, shall I? It's just a sexy box. Just look at that. Amazing. As you'll see in the footage, it looks great. It's certainly not an easy game, but I can't wait to be playing that a bit more. It's brilliant. So there we go. That's my entire pickup bundle of the legendary Mr. Eddie RollerXcore. Again, I'll just say thanks, Eddie. Really appreciate what you did for me on all them, plus the little extras. It was much appreciated, and thank you very much. I have got another small pile amassing with Eddie as we speak. So there will be some more in the future at some point when I can get the money together to pay for them. But I hope you found that enjoyable. It's a bunch of epic stuff in my opinion. I'm over the moon with it. Absolutely top draw. Couldn't be any better really. The standard of the games is just off the chart. So we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon. Sayonara.